All right, we are recording and we are live. We are live on YouTube and we're also live here in the Discord chat room here in the Wrestling Soup channel. What's up, people? Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. It's the Experience. I am Drew, and with me as always,
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
all right, people, and we're back this week, and we're here to talk some wrestling, like we usually do on the show. But before we do, how are you, Justin? How are things?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain. I'm pretty content. I'm just here and enjoying our Wednesday night. We did see you this earlier in the day. Maybe like 5 hours ago. Me and the missus.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we came around closing time, which is weird. But yeah, we did some stuff during the day, and then we decided to drop by, and we just talked a little bit. Bought a shirt. Bought the missus a Drew McIntyre keychain. You actually gave her a Drew McIntyre card.
Yeah.
Which was that was nice of you. Thank you, man.
Yeah, not a problem, man.
Yeah, she's very appreciative of it. But other than that, it's getting cold again here in San Antonio. It's going to get cold this weekend, and it's going to allegedly snow, but we'll see about that. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about these shows. So, like I mentioned, SmackDown really wasn't much of anything. It was these 3-hour SmackDowns. I'll admit I was kind of on the side of like, hey, these 3-hour shows, maybe we can see some more people, get some TV time, but it, like I mentioned, really wasn't much of anything. How do you feel about these 3-hour SmackDowns?
Not needed.
Like, what do you?
It's not needed.
Right.
I need it.
So
people clamoring for 3-hour shows and not understanding that nothing's really going to change from these 3-hour shows. It just makes them longer.
right. So like, I just think the pacing of the show just doesn't work. Like, I think what really.
And mind you, I didn't really see SmackDown anyway because I was at a wrestling show on Friday. So
Right. I just think the pacing is off. I just think they try to cram as much as they can in 3 hours and try to make it feel like 2 hours, but it really just feels longer. I don't know if that makes sense, but I know Triple H had mentioned that it's not going to stay 3 hours for long. It eventually will go back to 2, which at this point, the Bloodline stuff is already starting to trickle down. I mean, you're still going to see Bloodline, but it's not going to be as heavily, like it used to be. It's not the way it used to be, because Jay's on Raw, obviously, and Jimmy is kind of doing his own thing, and Sammy's on Raw, and Roman's still gonna do Roman stuff. Eventually, whenever they do like a War Games thing, or if they want to do like a special, show thing, they're gonna bring back the Bloodline, for like a one night only thing. And then eventually Solo, I think, is going to turn face and, join up with his brothers again. So we'll see. But overall, SmackDown was kind of really not much of anything this week. So let's go to Monday Night Raw. The second week of the Netflix era of Monday Night Raw. And it was good. It was very, very good. They were in San Jose, California this week. This is the opposite of SmackDown in a sense where it was a 3-hour show that really flowed well. I guess the biggest, the elephant in the room that we can talk about is the debut of PENTA. PENTA, who they had been showing vignettes for the past month, I believe. And last week they pretty much let the cat out of the bag and said it's PENTA. Well, not really say it's PENTA, but they just showed like the graphic of PENTA's mask. And then on Monday morning, it was revealed on WWEshop.com that they were already selling PENTA merch. His masks, his T-shirts, and something else, I believe. I think that was it. But so last week they set up a match with Chad Gable because Chad Gable wanted to face the best luchador that Adam Pearce can find. Adam Pearce said, I think I know somebody, which we kind of already knew who it was going to be. Chad Gable came out, and Penta came out, which Michael Cole said on commentary, which I was kind of laughing at, which he's like, the best kept secret in wrestling. I'm like, it wasn't really that much of a secret, but okay. And again,
no, I think he said it nonchalantly, like he said it in cheek. I didn't think he was being serious.
Okay. But overall, really, really good match. Great opponent for Penta. Chad Gable is really fucking good. I think eventually his hard work is going to pay off, and they're going to give him maybe like the Intercontinental title at best. He could possibly get a title shot at the world title, but he's not going to win. But I think at best he'll be an Intercontinental champion by the end of the year. But yeah, Chad was really bumping and selling for anything Penta had. That fucking Destroyer, or they called it a Mexican Destroyer, I thought was smooth. I thought that was really smooth. For a crowd that doesn't really see much of that. Granted he was in his hometown, but yeah, again, I think that was the best presentation for Penta. That was the best way you can debut him. He had his family sitting at ringside. For anyone that didn't know, that little girl that was crying is Penta's daughter. There were a few botches, which again wasn't really that big of a deal, but it was noticeable. But again, Chad did his job. He made Penta look like $1 million. And after the match, Penta won, of course. And there was a nice little moment, I don't know if anyone noticed, where it's kind of a blink and you'll miss it type of thing, and somebody shared on social media, where Penta and Chad kind of shared like a little respect thing, where he grabbed his hand and kind of shook it. But and after the match, Penta cut a promo in English and mostly Spanish, and the crowd liked it. It was a good promo. Yeah, the internet was raving about Penta. People that never really saw him, people that knew him, wrestlers from not just WWE, a few wrestlers from AEW, a few wrestlers from a bunch of other companies, praising his work. And yeah, Penta.
I just find it kind of funny that the WWE marks all of a sudden like Penta because he's in WWE now.
I mean, it was expected.
It doesn't make it right though.
I mean, I'm not
make it right.
Not saying it's right, but it was expected.
I mean, no, it's expected, but golly, man, just
I mean the
IWC's a fucking cesspool, man.
The WWE marks are happy. The AEW marks are unhappy. It's at the end of the day, it only matters who's happy, like the people that matter, so to speak. But yeah, the Penta is a success in WWE. His merch sales are apparently selling well. And
yeah, apparently his shirt is number 1 and number 2 top selling apparel, I want to say, and his mask is the top selling revenue on WWE Shop. So
yeah, those masks are gonna sell like hotcakes. Like I'm pretty sure Ray is happy that they found somebody that can kind of take over for him in the future. But from what I mean, and also not to jump ahead, but it looks like he's gonna be Ray's tag team partner next week against the New Day. So
yeah, we'll see.
But what do you think about the match and his debut and everything else?
I mean, it was a AEW match mixed in with WWE story. I mean, hey, can't ask for much of anything else, man. They let Penta go out there and be Penta, and and Penta kind of answer the questions of like, oh, he doesn't sell, he no sells. Well, he was selling pretty well in his match, selling that leg. Telling the story of trying to overcome the busted up leg and ankle in the match. So I thought that was an excellent way to debut Penta, and also on top of that as well, the very first match of the show too. His presentation's really good. I like his presentation, right? The Zero Miedo is gonna get over. Is already getting over with the fans there, especially by the end of that match as well. So, hey, man. This is the very first, I won't say big AEW signing, right? I'm gonna say, like, this is the very first, like, homegrown big AEW signing. And what I mean by that is to the main roster directly. Yeah, you got Jay Cargill, but it's a little bit different with Penta. Penta was there the very first pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like, he was doing a fucking destroyer through a table during that ladder match at I think it was All Out, I want to say, or was it Double or Nothing? I forget which one it was, but that's how long they've been there. The Lucha Bros, right?
Right.
He was fucking having matches with Kenny Omega. He had match against. That was Kenny Omega's match at the very first All In. You know, so it's like, Penta was, in my opinion, I thought he was gonna come. I thought he was gonna be one of the top guys.
Me too.
I thought he was gonna be on the level of a MJF, of a Hangman, of a Kenny, of a guys like that, Moxley. I thought he was gonna be on that level, but they put him with this brother, which is fine, right? And they became a top tag team for a while, but that was it. Like, tag teams were flavor of the month. The only consistent tag team that has been in AEW, there's two. FTR, and I'm really kind of saying FTR, and the Young Bucks. Everyone else has been like rotation tag teams. You know what I mean? Private Party is finally the tag team champions, and look how they're being used right now. They're not being used well as tag team champions. Nothing against them. It's just that, Tony Khan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with his tag team division, much less other things on the roster right now. So, Penta's presentation was great. His merchandise is gonna sell. Obviously, is selling already. And on top of that as well, he has undeniable charisma that was shown in AEW, that was shown in Impact, that was shown in Lucha Underground, and he is going to be one of the most over wrestlers in WWE in 2025, bar none. You're gonna have kids doing this, right? You know what I mean? Just like the Yeet and the LA Knight, yeah, right? You know what I mean? That he is gonna be on that level. In some points, maybe even bigger. Maybe even bigger in some aspects in certain cities, right? Because he has the Mexican background, right? But yeah, no, very happy for Penta. Can't wait to see where he goes from here. I don't want him to be part of the LWO. Maybe have the tag team match. That's cool. I want him to have his own identity. He doesn't need to be part of a Hispanic group. He doesn't need to be. I think he's way too talented for that. He can cut a coherent promo as well. And even if he can't speak in English, let's say he can't do a long fighting promo in English, he has the charisma to get through those promo segments while even speaking a lick of English. So I think it's a great position for him. Tony Khan fucked up. There's no way to play around it. He fucked up letting him go. It is what it is at the end of the day, right? To me, it's not really about AEW versus WWE. I really just think at this point it's really about, how Penta is going to make WWE a shit ton of money. And, you got Backlash coming up in Mexico. He's going to be on the card for that, right? Want to see where he will fit into WrestleMania. Is it him versus Rey Mysterio? Possibly, right? I don't know, but you have a lot of potential matchups that I want to see with Penta. Penta versus Seth Rollins, Penta versus CM Punk, Penta versus Gunther, Penta versus you can name pretty much anybody at the point. Penta versus Dragon Lee, obviously Penta versus Rey Mysterio. You got a ton. Penta versus Ilya Dragunov. You got a ton of matches that you can put with this guy, and it feels fresh. I'll close on this. Seeing Penta's presentation in WWE, how do you think Ricky Starks feels? How do you think that Wardlow feels? How do you think other guys feel They kind of don't have that itch to go back to, or go to WWE or go back to WWE. How do you think Aleister Black feels?
Oh,
Which we know he's going to be back in WWE eventually.
He'll know soon enough.
You're right. So he's going to be back in WWE soon enough. But you know, again, this is the very first male homegrown talent on the roster from AEW to WWE. I'm not counting Jade. You know, she came in a little bit. She's still a homegrown talent, but not to that level. Not a day oneer. She's technically not a day oneer, right? Maybe a day threeer, but not a day oneer, right? It's gonna be very weird seeing him on our TVs for a little bit because I'm like, damn, he's in a WWE ring. It's like, and people are popping for him and know him. And it also shows you too as well that more people are aware of what's going on in AEW than you realize. You know, it was kind of, you know, you kind of talked to me earlier in the shop talking about, how much Penta stuff do you have? And I'm like, well, you know, as soon as people found out he was going to be going to WWE, like, people came and bought his shit. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's just the way that WWE fans are. Like, they don't care about you unless you play for their team. So, even though he's had a lot of merch and a lot of great stuff out there already, but, you know, people want to support you once you finally go to the big time. And when Michael said welcome to the big time, I thought about Becky Lynch too. That was like, that was kind of a little bit of a Becky Lynch reference there, you know. Right. You know, but outside of that, Penta being there's a lot with this, but I think at the end of the day, pro wrestling fans win. If you're Team WWE or TAW, sure, fine. But you gotta feel happy for people going from one organization to another and feeling happy that they're there. If they're happy that they're there, if they want to feel fulfilled going to another company, we shouldn't bitch and complain because they're not with your team anymore. You should feel happy nevertheless. Adam Copeland went to fucking AEW. Now, has his AEW run been, you know, fantastic? No, not really. It's been good, minus the injury, right? He had a great reign with the TNT title, I thought, before he got injured, right? But if he feels that he's more fulfilled being AEW, let the guy be in fucking AEW. If Aleister Black comes back to WWE, which most likely is going to happen, let Aleister Black be fucking happy in WWE. Let Bobby Lashley be happy in AEW. At the end of the day, it's not our it's not really our say to be like, oh, you know, well, he's in WWE now. Like, oh my god, you know, just, you know, he betrayed us. Like, do you think they give a fuck about what our opinion is and what we say and what we think? They don't give a shit. Do you give a shit that fucking, or do you think Bobby Lashley gives a shit that, oh, he left WWE and, you know, he's at AEW now? He had nothing else left to do in WWE. Let the guy make fucking money in AEW. If it bothers you that much, don't watch it. Don't follow it. You don't have to follow it. You don't have to follow Penta if you don't like him being in WWE. So that's why I think that's what's great about what's going on in the business, and that time can go back and forth and make their money. So good on Penta. Very happy for Penta, and I can't wait to see where he goes from here.
So a friend of the show, a friend of mine, Trez. She actually translated his promo that he made in Spanish, or that he said in Spanish. He said, "For all my people in Mexico and all Latin America, I want to tell you thank you for being part of the process. Thank you for accompanying in my journey to get here to WWE. This is the result of one Mexican when he wants to come excel. Thank you for my family." And P.S. Tony Khan is a bitch. I'm playing. He didn't actually say that.
All right, okay. I was talking about like tribalism and stuff, and you just threw that in there.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Not really. But no, yeah. Just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, where it's like Ricky Starks, who else? Ray Phoenix. You know, whoever else. You know, especially Black, but Black's going to be out pretty soon. You know, Thunder Rosa. They see how Penta was presented. You know, how they already bombarded, the WWE shop zone with his merchandise. And now it's in the top 3 of, best-selling merchandise. You look at how they presented, Jade. You look at how they presented, Pillman Jr. and down in NXT. They have to see that and go, oh, Jesus Christ, can I just get out of this company already? Can I please go there? Can I please go there and play on your team? You know what I mean? It's just a matter of like how this company, again, the WWE had like what, a 50-year head start. So of course they're gonna have all the money and the resources and all the ammo and all the weapons, and they're gonna know how to present people. Their production company is top notch, and now they got a guy who used to work at ESPN doing that shit for them. Now they're working with Netflix, so Penta is going to do just fine. I kind of disagree where you said, don't put him with the LWO. I'm not saying I want to be with the LWO. I think for the time being, put him with a more recognizable face, and who better than Ray?
Why would you do that when he's already getting this reaction?
I think eventually he's gonna need somebody to play off of, because here's how I look at it, is like how you book him. Is he just gonna keep being in matches where it's just like, hey, I bumped into this guy backstage, and this is my next match?
Yeah, well, how come he can't just like start winning matches and eventually go up to the Intercontinental Championship?
I mean, again,
how come he can't go after Braun Breaker or possibly Sheamus or whoever's going to be the Intercontinental Champion?
Hey, I don't mind being wrong. I'm just saying, like, for the time being, put him with someone like Ray, and also with WrestleMania coming up. I mean, him and Braun Breaker, I think, would be a fucking banger, as they would say. That would be the match of the night. That'd be like a match of the year candidate right there. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they put him with someone a little safer. Maybe like a Dom, and Ray can be in Penta's corner. That could be a match. You know what I mean? Like Dom. I mean, because Dom's already talking shit about Penta. I mean, in character. He's talking shit about Penta on Twitter. So that could be a match. Where Ray's going to be like, I'm going to be in his corner. I'm going to watch him whoop your ass, son. So eventually Ray Phoenix will find his way to WWE, and, you can have the Lucha Bros in WWE. And you can have some dream matches with that. The Lucha Bros versus Motor City Machine Guns. Lucha Bros versus DIY.
Lucha Bros versus the fucking Usos. That's the match there. That's the fucking match.
That's a SummerSlam match. That's a WrestleMania match. That's the match people are going to want to pay to see. So.
That's the match right there. And I'll put it to you this way. This is going to be... Fuck your Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks. I want Lucha Bros versus Fraxium. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. Just let them go out there and do whatever the fuck they want for 20 minutes.
Oh god.
That's the match I want to see right there. Oh, all the matches, that's the match I want to see right there.
Dude, I want that. You know how bad I want that. I need that in my life. So, but yeah, Penta off to a great start, and we'll see what happens from here. But yeah, more than likely next week it'll be Penta joining Ray against the New Day, and he'll murk the New Day just like he did to Chad Gable. So, the rest of the show, yeah, Raw was pretty good this week. It was just as good as last week. I don't know if I would say better than last week, but just as good.
I will definitely say better than last week for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, this was more of a show of an actual Raw that actually mattered. I ain't gonna say last week's show didn't matter. Obviously, it fucking matters. First Raw on Netflix, and you had The Rock and all that stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, it was kind of like an introduction. Hey, this is who we are. All baby faces win. Type of a show, right? This felt more of like a traditional Raw at the end of the day. So I liked it a lot.
Let me ask you something. So with the second week happening, do you notice any difference? Do you think it feels like a Netflix show, or I guess like a Netflix presentation of Raw, or do you think it feels like a USA presentation of Raw?
Well, it feels like WWE.
Right. No, I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm just asking. Just kind of want to get your opinion.
I'll be honest, I have no idea exactly what you mean by that.
I guess since like it's the new era of NXT, I mean not NXT, of
Raw.
Raw on Netflix, and
Yeah, right.
and the crowd's not getting muted. People are saying a little sexual in your windows here and there.
It feels like a PLE.
Okay, fair enough.
Because PLEs, you don't really hear anyone get any muted or anything like that, and so.
Right. Just wanted to get your opinion on that.
That's what it feels like. Like, is it is the show a PLE? Obviously not, right? But like, as far as not even atmosphere, but I guess presentation wise, I guess you can say that.
Mm-hmm. And I guess another. Well, we'll get to the ending, but the show opens with CM Punk, and CM Punk, talked about his match last week. Wants to move on to bigger and better things, and talks about entering in the Royal Rumble. And then Seth comes out, and Punk is mad, and saying why couldn't it be Rhea Ripley? And then Seth Rollins, still mad at losing to CM Punk, and then decides to enter in the Rumble as well. Drew McIntyre comes out and decides to enter the Rumble as well, just like the other two men. And then brings up Roman Reigns, saying Roman Reigns is out here playing chess while you guys are playing checkers. Blah, blah, blah. So that happened. Again, good promo.
Yeah, very good.
We already talked about Penta. You have Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. Pretty solid match between the two. Hold on.
Yeah, it was a good match. Not as good as their previous matches, but I thought this was still a good match.
Sheamus, it's weird. Sheamus finally got it in like his mid-40s. So, and Ludwig is good too. I kind of wanted Ludwig to win. I thought he probably needed the win more than Sheamus. I don't think Sheamus loses anything by doing the JOB to Ludwig, but it is what it is. But pretty solid match. Judgment Day stuff. Liv pretty much talking to Dom like he's a bitch, telling him, get my bags and get everything from the car. And Dom willingly going along with it because he, I guess, loves being a cuck. Or not even a cuck, I guess like a simp. Is that the best way you can call it? Wait, what is that all? Hold on. It can't be. Give me 1 second.
No, sure.
Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so Bleacher Report does not have the whole show. I have no idea why. Raw results.
What do you usually use?
I usually use Bleacher Report, but for whatever reason, Bleacher Report decided not to have the whole show. All right, I'm here. Never mind, I have it.
Oh, okay.
I have it.
I was gonna say I usually use maybe like a WrestleZone or
I'll
something.
probably sorry. I used to use WrestleZone like crazy. That was my shit back in high school. All right, so now I'm here. Jey Uso, or not even Jey Uso. So Gunther came out and hyped up, him being the world champion, and talks about who his next opponent is going to be, and then it's Jey Uso. Jey Uso wants to be the next opponent for Gunther at Saturday night's main event, which is going to be here in San Antonio. Gunther talks down to Jey, tells Jey, you're nothing more than just a tag team wrestler. And if you really want a world title match that bad, that's fine. I'll just expose you. Again, Gunther, I don't think gets enough credit for being really good on the mic.
Yeah.
Like over the course of like the past, I would say 6 months, maybe longer than that, he's really gotten really good on the mic. Because before it seemed like he wasn't comfortable on the mic.
Yeah.
Now he seems more comfortable. Has a very dry sense of humor. But yeah, he was really good. He kind of exposed Jey. It's funny because Jey does his big entrance to the crowd, and as soon as he gets to the ring, he just seems exhausted. He just sounds like he's out of breath, which I get why, because it's a lot of energy trying to come through the crowd, and you're trying to get hyped up and doing the yeeting thing.
Yes.
So I can't really like discredit him too much. But he cut a pretty decent promo afterwards, with when Gunther was walking away. So, but yeah, after Saturday night's main event, it's gonna be Jay versus Gunther, which will be here in San Antonio, as I mentioned.
Question: who would you pick to win that match?
I mean Gunther.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's been talk of possibly having Jay beat Gunther. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But there's been talk of people wanting Jay to beat Gunther, just because people feel that Gunther's title reign has not been up to advertisement, I should say.
I agree. Gunther with his Intercontinental title reign, I thought was more memorable and better.
Oh, I mean, he had the best Intercontinental title reign. The best Intercontinental title reign of all time is like you like it's gonna be so hard to top that.
Right.
It's gonna be so hard to top that. You know what I mean? The best Intercontinental title reign of all time is better than 80% of all world title reigns.
Agreed. Not to say he hasn't had good matches, but as a world champion, but it hasn't hit the same. It's almost like the sequel to a really good movie,
right?
Where it's like this was a great movie, and then the sequel is like, it's not terrible, it's not great, but it's like it could have been better. Right. But I don't see Jay winning. If he does, I'd be surprised. But we'll see. I mean, because like we talked about this, going into Mania. I would be surprised if Gunther was the world champion going into Mania. Because I know...
well, I mean, right now, I don't know exactly what's going to be happening at Mania. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is really going to give us that path. It would be John Cena versus Gunther, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. It could be Gunther versus Logan Paul. You have a lot of options. It could be Gunther versus Seth Rollins. That's kind of like out there. I don't really think it'd be Gunther versus CM Punk. Like, there's a lot of options that's out there, and I'm happy that we don't know exactly what's going to be as of yet, because this Royal Rumble is stacked. It's probably going to be one of the most stacked Royal Rumbles of all time.
Right.
Stacked like the 2001 Royal Rumble. Stacked like the 1992 Royal Rumble. I think that's the territory that we're going to be as far as star power. That's going to be in this match.
I agree. This is going to be a very interesting Rumble. And again, I like not knowing what's going to happen. Because, for a while, there was that point where we already knew who the main event was going to be at WrestleMania. We already knew who was going to win. This year, I don't know who's going to win. It could be CM Punk. It could be John Cena. It could be Seth. It could be anybody.
It could be a Brock Lesnar if he returns.
Oh God. That could be another opponent for Gunther. It could be Gunther versus Brock, because I know Gunther's always wanted to wrestle Brock.
Versus Goldberg, because remember Goldberg was his last match.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Jesus. As long as it ends with Gunther choking his ass out, I really don't care. I have zero interest in Goldberg, like at all. I know his son wants to be a wrestler, so we'll see about that. Scott Steiner's son is apparently going to be a wrestler, so fucking both Steiners.
Yeah, he apparently signed. Yeah.
Dude, imagine that. Both Steiners, like younger Steiners in the WWE. That's fucking nuts. And they got Mark Henry's kid, joining up. So who's going to stop that group? Nobody. At all. But, it's going to be a pretty... Lightning. He looks like a beast. He's a Steiner. Those Steiners, you can't be a small man in the Steiner family. You just can't. All right, so we got that. All right, so the finals for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. You got Lara Valkyria versus Dakota Kai. I thought this was a good match. The crowd was, I wouldn't say bad. The crowd was good for this match. It wasn't as loud as you probably wanted them to be, because again, Dakota. I like Dakota. I love Lyra. Unfortunately, they're not as over as we want them to be. But again, nonetheless, the crowd they liked this match. And I thought it was a really good back and forth match. Dakota, I don't think gets enough credit for being as good as she is. And Lyra's Lyra. Lyra's very good. The fans seem to really do like Lyra, especially when she comes out and does her entrance and they get to the oh thing. But in the end, Lyra won, which I thought was expected. It would have been interesting if Dakota won, but I think they wanted to give it to somebody who, I guess, don't want to sound mean here, but I guess a little bit more reliable, because Dakota does... She's injury prone, I'm just going to point it out. I think Lyra will make a great, first women's Intercontinental champion, so congratulations to her.
Yeah, and people are, worried about, them not getting over. Well, Lyra, and people are worried about Lyra, like, when it's how Lyra's gonna be fine, because she's gonna be facing Becky Lynch at WrestleMania.
Right.
And that's gonna help her get over if they decide to put her over Becky.
I mean, that will definitely give her career a shot in the arm. I mean, that can be a feud that you can do for the whole year. I mean, because I can...
Well, not the whole year. I wouldn't do the whole year.
Well, I mean, for the rest of the year. Or maybe...
I would not do it for the whole year, rest of the year. I think WrestleMania and maybe the pay-per-view after that.
SummerSlam?
I would... What's going to carry the fuse? Becky going to turn heel or something and she takes the title?
Well, I was going to say Becky wins and then eventually Lyra turns heel and gets the title back.
Lyra turns heel?
I mean, stranger things have happened. It's the classic mentor-mentee feud. Or maybe Becky can turn... Well, Becky's already turned heel and that didn't really work out. But, again, I don't know.
I'd much rather have that than Lyra turn heel.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying I want it to happen.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that's not a good, creative decision if WWE does that.
You never know. I'm just saying,
They already don't... Lyra already does not get any reaction. Imagine if she's heel. No, that won't work.
We'll see. All right, and then you had Sami Zayn versus The Miz. The story heading into this was Karrion Kross doing his best Sean O'Hare impression, the devil where he's, talking to Sami. And then they set up a match with Sami and Miz. And there was kind of a funny moment where Miz was like, now we have that to worry about. And Kross just goes, we? And just laughs and walks away. Which also, this was kind of a small thing where it was revealed that the White Six had been sent over to SmackDown. So, which, again, they didn't really hype it up too much. So, they just pretty much said it in a backstage segment. So, we'll see about that. Sami Zayn versus The Miz. Sami Zayn won. So, yeah. And then Nia Jax came out and confronted Rhea Ripley.
Hey, he won with the Blue Thunder Bomb too, man. Like after the Hulu kick and Blue Thunder Bomb. So
yeah, dope. I love that finish.
Yeah, I mean, like, when's the last time he won with the Blue Thunder Bomb?
Yeah, good point. He usually wins with the Hulu kick.
Yeah.
But good to see the Blue Thunder Bomb back. Nia Jax confronted Rhea Ripley for some reason. Or I guess to type up the Royal Rumble. And then talk about her match on Friday, which she called... Or no, she already said this on Friday, where she called Tiffany an ungrateful little shit, which they didn't edit out. Alright, now we got to the main event. The main event was Damian Priest versus Finn Balor in a street fight. I thought this was a fun match. Other than the gurney spot, which I didn't really think was needed. I was okay with it. Well, I'm gonna explain why I didn't think it was needed, because after Damian took out everybody in the Judgment Day, Finn just popped up like nothing happened.
No.
I don't know. That's just how I felt. To me, I felt like if you just took that gurney spot out, it wouldn't have really changed anything.
Yeah, true.
So, but anyways, Finn was obviously great out there. Finn, I think sometimes we can't take him for granted. He's very good. He knows how to...
He's one of my... To me, like in my personal list, favorite wrestlers, not best wrestlers, he's probably like in my top 5, 10 And my favorite of all time, one of my favorite wrestlers, probably closer to 10 though than 5. So
Yeah, Finn is a good utility.
one.
Yeah, Finn's a good utility player. You know, him, Chad. You can probably throw Kevin Owens in that list of guys that, you know, they take him out of the toy box and they do something with him. It's like, hey, here's a world title match. You know, hey, you know, do this. Hey, here's a big match. And Finn knows how to make a match work. Finn knows how to put guys over. I mean, you know, he had that great run in NXT where he was a heel and he was having great matches with everybody. You know, he made fucking you know, Cross look like $1,000,000. So now he's back on the main roster, and you know, he did great things with the Judgment Day, and you know, him and Damian were, you know, the best tag team of that whole year. I mean, granted, they're probably the only good tag team of that year, but yeah, man, he made Damian look like $1,000,000 in this match, and Damian got the win. You know, well deserved. Hopefully that means Damian's done with this and he can move on and maybe go after.
We've been saying that for the last, I don't know how long.
I have been saying it for the longest time, and they just keep pulling him back with this Judgment Day feud. So hopefully, hopefully I'm right this time. Also, and Raw ended, was it 37 minutes early, or 27 minutes early? One of those two, but. Yeah, I mean, it made sense because, like, I remember that the main event was already starting at 9:10 p.m. Central Time here in San Antonio, which I'm like, huh. Either they're going to give them a Broadway, like 40-something minutes, or they're going to end early. Or what else are they going to do after this match? Because I can't really think of anything else that should happen. I mean, Triple H did say before that the shows aren't always going to be 3 hours. You know, the Raw shows aren't always.
They don't. They can technically have a show for. I mean, they're not going to do this, but they can technically have a show for 10 minutes if they wanted to. It's a live program show on Netflix, so they don't have to worry about like, oh, the 10 o'clock news is coming up on Netflix. Like, no, it's not like that. So
right, they don't have to. I mean, they still got to answer to advertisers, but you know, it's not like
obviously, yeah. I'm being very funny when I say 10 minutes, but like if the show goes like an hour and you know 55 minutes, like, you know, but unless they sign something with Netflix saying like, oh, you have to be at least 2 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes, then sure, you know,
right.
But I'm pretty sure Netflix is gonna give them that flexibility,
right? Like they compete with people, but not really. You know, it's not like, hey, we got to end it exactly at 3 hours because, you know, Suits is coming on. You know what I mean? So
or Le Femme Nikita.
Oh, taking it old school.
Or Chrisley Knows Best.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Fuck that show.
Those commercials used to come on so much back in the day too. Well, not back in the day. Maybe like 10 years ago. You know.
Right. But yeah, they ended early, and I mean, I'm not complaining. I mean, they ended early, and you know, we were able to kind of, you know, get some shit out of the way. So, but yeah, Raw was really good this week. It was very, very good. Overall thoughts on Raw, the main event, and everything else.
I mean, pretty much covered already. Right? I thought this Raw was better than last week's Raw. Main event was very, very solid main event. Very fun. Very, very fun main event. Very fun show.
All right. So now we move on to NXT. The show opens with Obafemi as the new NXT champion. He ends up quoting Thanos from Infinity War, which I thought was kind of cool. That's kind of funny. And then
what do you say?
He said, "Dread it, run from it. Destiny has arrived, or shall I say, I have arrived." It's the opening monologue in Infinity War with Thanos.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
All right. Well, I remembered.
Well, that's cool though. That's cool. That's cool.
Tony D'Angelo comes out and you know, reminds him that he's the champion and he beat him, and eventually he can take that title away from him. And then who the fuck else was it that came out and attacked him? Oh, Eddie. No. Well, Eddie Thorpe came out, but who? Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland, I guess, is in a program with Tony D'Angelo. So they fought, and then Eddie Thorpe came out with a strap and then wrapped it around his arm and started beating up Oba. So Eddie will get a title shot next week against Oba. So cool. Good for Eddie. Next is we had Shotzi versus Stephanie Vacour. Stephanie won a No More Contenders match for the Women's North American Championship. Shotzi pinned the Women's North American Champion last week at New Year's Evil. So Shotzi felt like I should be next in line. So she wrestled Stephanie, and I thought it was a decent match. Pretty good match. I thought it was maybe the better match, one of the best match, maybe if not the best match that Shotzi's had. Granted, you had Stephanie in the ring to, make shit look, crisp out there. So I thought they were pretty good. Fatal Influence got involved. JC came out in the middle of the ring to talk shit, and Shotzi and Stephanie both gave her a double headbutt. And Fallon Henley came out and hit Stephanie in the back with her belt. While the referee wasn't looking, Shotzi didn't see it, and she ended up putting Stephanie in a schoolboy. 1, 2, 3. So Stephanie will wrestle Fallon in I think 2 weeks, because they're going to be in Atlanta at Center Stage, taking it old school.
Yeah, it's going to be very good.
So I like NXT doing a lot of these random out of Florida shows, so it should be fun. And Ethan Page, still really Cat. Ethan Page riding high off of his interaction with The Rock. Calls him DJ. Rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, and then he ends up wrestling Dante Chen, which he wins. Which now Ethan Page is doing a Diamond Cutter, which I think is pretty interesting. I think that's a better move for him than his Razor's Edge.
I don't know.
I think
a lot of people do cutters already, though.
I mean, I think he'll probably still do a Razor's Edge every now and then for like big matches, but yeah, I don't know. I like the Diamond Cutter personally.
I mean, the cutter you can hit on everybody. Anybody can get hit with it. Yeah, but I don't know.
Right. He beats Dante Chen, and then he ends up breaking his ankle, because that's his new gimmick now. He's breaking people's bones. Javon Evans comes out, still with his, mouth wired shut, and goes after Ethan. Ethan, however, punches him in the mouth and ends up, I guess, making him bleed all over again. So, right. There we go. Javon rushed things, but eventually they will wrestle each other at, I'm assuming, Vengeance Day, which is going to be next month. Which, who else his contract is coming up next month? I'm pointing at you. Josh Alexander. There you go. Metaphor versus Unholy Union. Metaphor win, and they'll be the number one contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Yippee. Kalani Jordan versus Cora Jade. Cora Jade ended up getting the win. Masha Slamovich, the TNA Women's Champion, was in the crowd, so that was cool. Yeah. They advertised her. They even advertised TNA Genesis coming up, so that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. And the main event, or I guess the main event match of the night, Nathan Frazier, or Fraxium versus OTM, and I thought it was a fantastic match. Fraxium, again, they usually never have bad matches. They always tend to bring out the best in people, regardless of who it is. It's never a thing of you have to wrestle their style. They're going to adapt to your style, and they end up making everything work. OTM, I thought, they're a very underrated tag team. I thought for a while I kind of had a hard time of reading what OTM was supposed to be. I mean, I know what their gimmick was, but it's like, who is OTM really? And right. I thought on Tuesday they really showed out, or yesterday they really showed out. And I thought when DIY showed up, it was kind of obvious, okay, OTM ain't really winning. And granted, nobody really thought they were winning, but I thought once DIY showed up, it's like, okay, they're really not winning because they want to do DIY versus Fraxium, which I think that'll be fun. But yeah, Fraxium got the win. I'm gonna guess you're gonna get Fraxium and DIY at Vengeance Day.
That'll be a good match, man. That's gonna be a really good match.
It's gonna feed families, as they would say. And then the show ends with Roxanne Perez coming out to talk about losing the title. And then Bayley comes out, and then they brawl, which I didn't really get why that ended the show. I thought that should have been like maybe in the middle of the show and have Fraxium close out the show, but whatever. Roxanne apparently is going to show up on Friday Night SmackDown this week. So
yeah.
I mean, that could be another match too at Vengeance Day. You know, Roxanne Perez versus Bayley.
I definitely think that's possibly where they're going to be going.
Which Vengeance Day is going to be stacked. It's going to be a pretty good show. You won't want to miss that one. So that was NXT. Thoughts on NXT?
Solid show. Very fun.
All right. Now we move on to Dynamite, or as they called it, Maximum Carnage. Great game, by the way. Great comic book as well. It was in Cincinnati, Ohio. They were booked in a smaller venue, which I think which is better. You know, it's better for AEW, you know, to be in these smaller venues.
Yeah, it looked good on TV.
Yeah, same thing with NXT. When NXT is in smaller venues, it looks better. It comes across better on TV. It looks more has a more intimate feel to it. Kenny Omega made his return to AEW against Brian Cage, who apparently is trying to look like Steve Blackman. The match was what it was. It was a fine match. It wasn't great or anything spectacular. That's just my opinion. But it was a match. It happened, and Kenny Omega got the win. And then afterwards, there was a brawl, and of course,
I'm glad to have Kenny Omega back, man.
Yeah,
he just feels AEW.
I mean, for the show, Kenny, it's good for AEW when Kenny's back because it breathes some much needed life back into the show. Ospreay came back and helped out Kenny, but then the rest of the team beat him up. Takeshita came out and aided with the beatdown, so by the end, Omega and Ospreay were, beat up to end the segment. So, did you see this at all?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right. Next, Ricochet came out to explain his actions, but got ran out of the building by Swerve. There's kind of a funny bit where Swerve's music hits, and then Ricochet's looking to the ramp, and Prince Nana comes out and hits him with a chair and starts dancing, which I thought was funny. Swerve chases him out of the building, and that's it. That's the end of the segment. Nothing really happened. The Hurt Syndicate. The Hurt Syndicate versus Private Party and Mark Briscoe. The Hurt Syndicate won, as people would have expected.
Absolutely.
I mean, the Hurt Syndicate, they look like people. They look like something. On the
they
show.
look like people.
I was gonna say they look like stars. They look like actual grown men on the show. They get a reaction. Obviously, that theme that I think MVP sings, which is, we hurt people, we hurt people. So they just went out there and just beat the shit out of everybody in the ring. And more than likely, I don't know if it's going to be MVP and Shelton Benjamin as tag team champions or Lashley and Benjamin as tag team champions. I mean, MVP looked like he could still go. So I would imagine it's going to be MVP and Shelton Benjamin as tag team champions. Well,
I mean, they need to do something. I don't know what the fuck though.
Unless they decide to do the thing that Bobby Lashley did in TNA, where he holds all the titles.
I'm up for anything right now.
Smashly. But yeah, that happened. Jeff Jarrett came out, and him and MJF were talking shit. MJF doing his usual shtick of you suck. You had a company that went out of business, and I want to bang your wife and blah blah blah. And Kurt Angle banged your wife and okay. And Jeff Jarrett's just like no selling it and laughing and tells MJF, I was you before you were you. And you're gonna have to do a whole lot worse to get under my skin. And MJF just merely mentions Owen Hart, and Jeff Jarrett gets pissed off and punches him in the face, and they brawl, and then Karen Jarrett comes off to calm Jeff down, and he does, and then MJF grabs Karen Jarrett and throws him at Jeff Jarrett. So, I mean, I'll say one thing. I mean, this feud at least has something to it. This seems like the only feud that people have some modicum of interest in. So,
and that's not a good. That's not a good thing, though.
No. I mean, Jeff Jarrett gets a reaction.
I like Jeff Jarrett, man, but like Jeff Jarrett having a permanent role in AEW in 2025 is not what you're supposed to be doing.
Right. It's just like everybody, a big chunk of people that get a reaction are people that were stars in other companies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby Lashley gets a reaction, but also Bobby Lashley looks like a wrestler. Shelton Benjamin looks like a wrestler. Jeff Jarrett, has been around for so long, and people know who he is. He gets a reaction. So, Edge gets somewhat of a reaction, but I don't know. Like you said, it's not a
reaction.
He gets a reaction when his music plays. When he talks, it's kind of a different story. I'm just going by what happened last week, but
right.
Anyhow, Cope. I'm sorry, Lightning. It's Cope, not Edge. Cope. Have a cope and a smile. Yeah, so that happened. MJF and Jeff Jarrett. It's funny. Bleacher Report gave it an F. They gave the segment an F. I don't know why. Christian Cage versus Hook. I thought it was an okay match. I thought it was alright. It was alright for what it was. And then in disqualification after who was it? Nick Wayne, and who was the other guy? The British guy, the guy who's married to Penelope Ford.
Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian. They came in and beat up Hook, and Taz is on commentary. Taz is like, I can't take any more of this. I'm sorry, but I can't just sit here and be professional. And then Samoa Joe's music plays, and we just talked about reaction. Samoa Joe got a reaction. Of course, because people like Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joe. I'm happy to see him back. He came back and beat up the rest of Christian's crew, and aiding Taz and Hook. So cool, good to see Samoa Joe back. I'm happy Joe's back. And what do we got next? We have the Women's Casino Gauntlet for the Women's World Championship opportunity. Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter, the debut of Megan Bayne.
Megan Bayne, yep.
Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale, Toni Storm, and Harley Cameron. Toni Storm ended up winning, to which she acted surprised and shocked and excited. Still doing her,
Hey, she's a young upstart Toni Storm.
Oh yeah, definitely. And she'll be wrestling Mariah May at what's the next big pay-per-view? Grand Slam and was it Australia? There you go.
Oh, Australia, mate.
And then the main event was for the AEW World Championship: Jon Moxley versus Powerhouse Hobbs. This is a match. It wasn't bad. They really went out of their way to make Hobbs look like $1 million.
Yeah. That's one thing. I think that was the bright spot out of anything that they did on this show tonight. Tony made Hobbs look good. Yeah. Made him look like a badass.
They didn't just
can't wait.
They didn't just completely shit in his mouth. They made him look like something out there. So that was good. Good for Tony. Good booking decision for Tony. Thank you. Moxley bleeded from his ear for some reason.
It's obviously his earring got ripped.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That shit was disgusting.
He's wearing earrings, which is all right.
Yeah, that wasn't that's not really a smart idea. Him wear earrings, but he wears earrings all the time too. So like, this is obviously just an accident that happened. So
Right.
you know.
And yeah, like I said, they really went out of their way to make Hobbs look like something. They threw everything at him. You know, they had interferences. They had 2 interferences. You know, Moxley did his move, and he still kicked out. But in the end, he passed out. He didn't tap out, which I guess is good. And Moxley is still the AEW World Champion. So yeah, we have that. So what did you think about the main event? Because you watched the main event, right?
Yeah, man, I thought the main event was very good. I thought it was a very good main event. And, you know, they made Hobbs look strong here. They kind of made it think like, oh, Hobbs, you know, could possibly win, even though you knew he probably wasn't going to win it. But they gave you that little, you know, that possibility with him. But you know, at the end of the day, I thought that was a good main event. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna be doing with Moxley at this point in time, but you know, whatever.
Right. I mean, eventually he's going to wrestle Cope whenever that happens.
Yeah, well, yeah, that, but like, you know, Adam Cole. Look, this is I'm just gonna be blatant. I hope Darby Allin does not, you know, die. I'll just say that, climbing Mount Everest. I hope he makes it, you know, because I like Darby. But obviously I don't want to see anyone die either. Just, you know, like, fuck wrestling at this point, you know what I mean? But, they're gonna put the title on Darby, and Darby's gonna get cashed in by Christian, and Christian's gonna win the title. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I forgot that Christian has that thing. That contract thingy.
Oh, yeah.
Money in the Bank, whatever the fuck it's called, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's, kind of seems like the way to go, but...
Yeah, that, I mean... Look, in the grand scheme of things, in the hindsight thing, I would have probably just put the title on Darby, have him beat Danielson for the fucking title, instead of having this situation with the Dead Riders. It started all promising, and you know, it's not good. Not good.
Yeah. All right, so that was Dynamite tonight. All right, so let's move on to news. There's 2 big news things. One that actually just came up, but we'll talk about the big one. So Corey Graves. Corey Graves was on commentary last week for NXT New Year's Evil, which looked like it was just a one-time thing, you know, because, you know, it was like, oh, he's here in town, it's a big show, blah, blah, blah. That appears, it looked like it was just, from what I thought it was going to be just temporary, I thought it in the end, I think it's, you know, permanent, because that's where he's going to be. So the Raw team, as we know, is Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, which, you know, we kind of already figured that was going to happen. The SmackDown team will be Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore, which I don't know if you and me talked about it, where I was thinking, like, is it going to be Corey Graves and Joe, or is it going to be a 3-man team? That's not the case. It looks like it's just going to be Joe and Wade. What's up?
Hey.
Did you get it?
Your doubles?
Yes.
Yes, they're in the...
Okay, thank you.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, Betty just came home and I was
Oh, okay.
asking her something. That's fine. I can already get something in the kitchen. So. Sorry. Yeah. Wade. Not Wade. Corey has been bumped down to NXT, which it was seen as a demotion. You know, because Corey for the longest time has been on the main roster as, you know, the head color guy of Raw, SmackDown. I mean, there was a point where he was on both shows at the same time. Now he's been bumped down, which for his ego, that's gotta hurt. You know, I mean, if you're someone like Corey who's been seen as like the color guy, you know, next to Michael Cole, it sucks. You know, it really does suck. And I have his tweet right here because he deleted his tweet, but I made sure to screenshot it before he did it. And he put, "Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, parentheses, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream," talking about his wrestling career. "Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then, when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job. Just in case you've wondered where I've been." He has since deleted that tweet. And then on the same day he put, tonight on NXT, I have a lot to say. He was then taken off of NXT. So, not sure what happened. I mean, pretty sure we already know what happened. But at first, it looked like it was a work. It could possibly still be a work, but I don't know. I like Corey. I've always liked Corey. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Corey. Kind of seems like it's more so about his personal life, which at the end of the day, it's none of my business. It's none of anyone's business.
Who cares? Like just because people are unhappy, just because I'm not talking about you, but just because you're unhappy about someone's personal life situation, again, that's none of our business. Stop worrying about people's personal lives and worry about yours. The IWC is fucking weird, man. I'm telling you, man. There's some weird fuckers in this fucking community.
Right. Unless like a story comes out where like he has like an underground sex dungeon, it's like,
well, yeah, that's different. Like, but if it's like, oh, he cheated on his wife and he started to, who gives a fuck? Is that affecting you personally? Do you wake up and like, oh god, I can't go to work. Corey Graves cheated on his wife. He's with Carmella. I can't live with myself.
Are you okay, Justin?
Bitch.
But yeah.
I did my Okada right there. There you go.
Nice. But yeah, just again, I've always been a fan of Corey. But yeah, it's just, it does suck because I was kind of like under the impression of like, are they going to put him on SmackDown at least? But now they're putting him in NXT, which I guess it's a little bit of a demotion. When you look at Corey's perspective.
I think Corey Graves is the best color man in wrestling.
I agree. I mean, people obviously love Pat. Pat and Michael Cole are great together.
Pat is good with Michael Cole, right? Obviously, and Pat's he's very hype. But if you really listen to Pat McAfee's commentary, he really adds nothing as far as like the technical side of wrestling, right?
Right.
Corey is there as far as like, oh man, this guy's using a headlock because of this. He tells stories a lot better. And even when Corey was asked to do play-by-play, he did. I mean, I prefer him as color, but when he was asked to do play-by-play, he did a good job at that too as well. So, to me, not having Corey Graves on the main roster to me is a fucking crime, right? Yeah. I think that they should have just done a 3-man booth of him, Joe Tess, and Wade Barrett on SmackDown. I know WWE is going away from 3-man booths, but at the end of the day, though, you gotta think about it like this. Like, once Pat McAfee leaves and goes to goes back to college football, in the NFL next season, then what? You're gonna need someone to fill that role. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
No, you're not wrong.
I mean, he has every right to fill the way that he does, like, in my opinion. So.
No, I agree. I mean, I honestly thought Wade did a good job. I thought when that short time when it was Wade and Corey, I thought Corey really stepped his game up, and because I don't know if it was you that said it. It might have been you that said it, where Corey had to become a color guy, on the as like an audible, so to speak, and he did a great job. I personally would have went with just Corey and Joe on SmackDown, and maybe put Wade on NXT.
I mean, Wade and Joe, they got great chemistry together too as well. So right. I mean, I think Wade Barrett deserves to be on the main roster too as well. I think they could have just done 3-man booth temporarily, or do a 3-man booth during the summertime. You know what I mean? Through the spring and summer. Then once NFL season comes back around and college football, just put Corey back with fucking Cole. It's not that difficult.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
Another thing that people are kind of speculating on is that maybe this could lead to Corey coming back as a wrestler.
That could be that too as well. I'm actually leaning towards of of WWE trying to bring back Corey Rhodes, because he's been cleared, actually. He's been cleared, but I guess they just either they didn't want him back in the ring, or he wasn't ready to get back in the ring, or maybe he was training to get back in the ring. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, but this could him lead him back, because at the end of the day, right? He took a shot at Pat McAfee in that tweet. Let's look at the grand scheme of things. Is this going to lead to a Pat McAfee Corey Graves match at WrestleMania? Which I don't want to see.
No.
I don't want to see that, not at WrestleMania. You know?
I mean, it could lead... I mean, it might. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Bubba Ray, or Bully Ray, on Busted Open Radio, comment on it. He says, tells Corey Graves to stop complaining and taking things personal because things change in WWE. This comes after Graves recently took to social media to voice his displeasure for not being famous enough, blah, blah, blah. He said, you are hired as an announcer, all right. WWE has 3 shows, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and you as an announcer are hired to be put on any of these shows they want. End of story. Same thing with the talent. Yeah, you might be on Raw one night, you might be on SmackDown the next night, that's it. There's a chance you're going to be on NXT. Again, if I were to look at it that way, then I would say that half my career was a demotion. A demotion is when they ask you to take less money. End quote. He has a point. He kind of does have a point. But again, it sucks. I mean, if this does lead to Corey maybe coming back as a wrestler, I mean, that's good. Good for him. If something is really going on, you know, behind the scenes that we're not sure about, it sucks. You know, but we'll see. Here's a story I wanted to bring up, and I don't know how you're going to comment on it. I don't want to get too political with it. This is just something I saw on social media. So, Jada Parker from NXT. I have a feeling you know what I'm talking about. So, again, you don't have to say much. I'm not really going to say much about it because it seems like a nothing burger at this point. She liked a post on Instagram from a page called Spiritual World. The post had to do with the U.S. or the U.S. House has passed a bill to ban transgender athletes from competing in women's and girls' sports at federally funded schools. She liked the post. Again, people having too much time on their hands. Decided to comment on it, call her transphobic, blah, 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 which she wasn't really transphobic, but whatever. And of course, you know, Jada Parker defending herself, saying, you know, pretty much saying, why do you think I'm a transphobe? You know, Jada, I think, was an soccer player. Like, she was like a A1, D1 soccer. I don't know the terminology. Soccer player, like college, I believe. To which somebody, allegedly, I'm going to use the words allegedly because I don't want to get in trouble or whatever, had posted a picture or a video of her and Jey Uso at a club, which I watched the video and like really leaned in and tried to see who was who. I saw Jada Parker. I saw who the fuck is the other guy? The Australian guy. Grayson Waller.
No doing a shoey.
And someone claimed that Jey Uso was standing next to fucking Jada Parker, which I looked at that as thoroughly as possible. That is not Jey Uso. That's a guy in a fucking cap.
IWC are a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yes.
God, this fucking community is so fucking dumb, man. I swear to God.
To which somebody was like, he's the guy standing next to her in the cap and white shirt. I'm like, that is not Jey Uso. Jey Uso has longer hair. Go
look at the person that you know that responded to the first anti transgender phobe or whatever the fuck they were saying. Go look at their posts. They hate Jada Parker for one reason or another. They hate her, and they're gonna find something in their head because they don't have a job. And I don't know if it's a woman or a dude. I don't know who this is. I don't know who they are, but it reeks them not having a job. It reeks them not having real friends. It reeks them not getting any pussy or dick or whatever the fuck. I don't know what, who they are, but it just reeks of desperation. Go fuck yourself. Go outside. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. It's okay to go outside and enjoy life. Making up rumors on fucking X, man, you got a whole bunch of other couple motherfuckers. Oh yeah, that is Jay Uso. Where? Where's the proof? Who? And even at the end of the day, look, if Jada is fucking Jay Uso, guess what? Who gives a shit? Does that affect you? How does that affect your life? Like, who gives a fuck? So? Hey, Leah sucked Edge's dick while she was with Matt Hardy. So, well, that led to Matt Hardy getting fired, so that was a little bit different because, that directly affected his. But, like, if this is not affecting no one's, like, livelihood, and people are still on TV and doing stuff, and, who gives a fuck? Go outside and fucking fall face first into the fucking pavement. Jesus Christ. With the whole transgender thing, look, at the end of the day, I can really give two shits about what happened with the what got banned in the Senate or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Again, it doesn't affect my life. Hey, if you are trans and this affects you, so be it. Hey, I hope you figure a way out, get through it right. I can't say if it's right, if it's wrong, because I'm not part of that community or whatnot, right? But at the end of the day, if you're someone that is not part of that community, because I don't know if this person is or not, so I'm gonna tread lightly here, but if you are not part of that community and you're just doing it just to do it because you want attention, and you're like, oh, I want to find something to complain about because I don't like this, I don't like her, go straight, fuck yourself, kill yourself, die. I don't give a fuck. You're one of the main reasons why this fucking community gets laughed at. You're one of the main reasons why people, make fun of fucking pro wrestling fans, because you are somebody who doesn't understand, between you really don't understand how to keep things from not being personal to being personal, right? And what did Jay Parker did that was homophobic? Oh, I'm saying homophobic, transphobic.
She liked to tweet.
She liked to tweet or Instagram post.
Yeah, Instagram post.
Well, whatever it was, right? Oh, she liked it. She's basically saying, like, I don't think, biological men who turn into a biological woman should play sports with biological women. And she was a D1 college athlete. Is it wrong for her to have an opinion? Not saying that her opinion is 100% correct either.
Right.
And I'm not saying that that this person on Twitter's opinion is 100% wrong. But also at the same time as well, you can't just shit on them because they have that opinion. She didn't go out there and say, like, hey, fuck trans people. That's different. That's something to get canceled over. For them liking something and saying something, like, again, you're just finding ways to get mad at somebody because you don't like that person. For one reason or another, you don't like that person. Again, go through their tweets prior to today. All they do is speak about, because I guess they're like pro Usos or whatnot. But man, when it comes to Jada Parker, man, they don't like her for one reason or another. This community is fucking weird, strange, like, something's fucked up in people's heads in this community. I don't know what it is, but you guys need friends. You guys need to go outside. You guys need to get off the fucking internet. Stop posting every fucking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, posting shit on fucking, Twitter and IG. No one gives a fuck on what you're posting about. Get off the internet and make some genuine interactions. Go and talk to people. Go and talk to people about pro wrestling in person. It helps. Go and talk about other things in person. It helps. You behind your keyboard. I don't like Jada Parker. She botches. She sucks. She's the worst. She's fucking Jey Uso. I'm sick of it. I am quite frankly sick of it. I'm sick of this community. Well, not all the community, but people like this in the community. It makes us look bad at the end of the day. Grow the fuck up and, you know, and do something better with your fucking life. If I'm sorry if this person is a teenager as well. I'm sorry if you feel, and there's other people too as well talking about like, oh yeah, Jada's transphobic because she likes his tweet, and oh my god, like how I don't understand, man. This could be fucking insane, man. Insane.
I mean, you kind of said everything that needed to be said. It's just
fucking stupid.
You know, in closing, I don't want to spend too much time on this. These people are mentally ill.
Fucking stupid, man.
They have nothing better to do than be on the internet and talk shit. And it seems like a nothing burger because there's people out there that are defending Jada. Like,
there's nothing that's gonna come out of this.
No.
I'm gonna get Jada fired. Oh.
Yeah, and there's that small monicum of people that are like, she's a piece of shit, fire her. It's like, for what? For liking a
now,
fucking
I will
tweet?
say this: Jada shouldn't really like die into those talks. Right. Because it kind of added a little bit of gasoline onto the fire, right? I think Jada shouldn't really done all that, but man, at the end of the day, man, like that was, I mean, Jesus Christ, man, fucking stupid.
Like Shawn Michaels is not gonna let her go.
Fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's just like these people need to get off the internet. They need to go make friends, touch grass, you know, touch a pair of titties, do something. Or dick, or whatever you're into. It's just, get a fucking life, people.
It's embarrassing, man. I never, like, stuff like this makes me embarrassed to be a wrestling fan. And, like, stuff like this, it has nothing to do with what's going on TV. It's people like this, where, it is, like I said, the IWC is a terrible cesspool, man. It's a terrible cesspool, man.
Yeah,
who really, at the end of the day, does this really affect your life?
Apparently it does.
God, man, just...
It's these white knights. These fucking white knights that think they're doing something, but they're really doing nothing.
Terrible, man. Terrible people, man.
And yet,
they don't deserve fucking oxygen if they're gonna be acting like this.
And yet like for years we would have the Joey Ryans in fucking wrestling. We'd have the fucking Marty Skruls in wrestling, like actual bad people in wrestling with the whole speaking out thing.
Yeah.
And that got swept under the rug. But it's like, no, Jada Parker likes a fucking Instagram post, and she's a fucking like monster.
And there's people actually like, well, there's not news outlets, but there's like personality accounts, right? Not necessarily stan accounts, but like you know like the personality accounts that like they like post everything. They got followers and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Someone might like, some I don't like, right? But you got these guys just gossiping on fucking X, and they're not source checking, they're not fact checking, they're not trying to reach out to this particular individual and be like, hey, is this true? Is this not true? And I don't believe Jada Parker or Jey Uso to tell the truth, but also at the end of the day, though, you go off a clip that and this is an old clip too. I've seen that clip before, and it's like, oh yeah, she's fucking Jey Uso. Where the fuck do you see Jey Uso? It's like, I'm glad that, I mean, I certainly hope that fucking TikTok gets fucking shut down, because people need to have access to less fucking social media. Like, good God, man, like, get the fuck off of fucking. Like, I have it up right now. He looks nothing like Jay.
Yep. Yeah, and like somebody comments like, "Oh, he's the guy in the white pants." I'm like, "That's not Jay. Jey Uso has long hair." Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like,
oh fuck. Talking about sitting in the back. Well, I see a guy in white pants sitting in the back, but like you can't even see who the fuck this.
Somebody commented saying,
let's say that is Jey Uso. He's not, because I see a guy in white pants sitting in the back behind him. That's not even involved in the shots. So you mean to tell me that you take that and just saying like, this app is fucking stupid, bro. It's fucking stupid, man. Like I'm so fucking glad that I grew up in the era that I did, because all these fucking pussies, they're fucking soft. They're soft bitches at the end of the day. They wouldn't be able to last one fucking day in the real world because they're so worried about other fucking people's lives, and they're so worried about what's going on in other people's lives. They're not worried about what the fuck they have going on. They have they have no reason to be worried about other fucking people's lives. No wonder why wrestlers fucking look at fucking wrestling fans the way that they do. And I don't blame them. Because at the end of the day, you're going to get people who feel entitled. Oh, I'm going to share my opinion. You can share your opinion, right? But there's a way to share your opinion, and there's a way to be respectful about it. And not going around spreading rumors. What's going to happen next? Like, oh, you're going to see Cora Jade, let's say in the bar, and she's taking shots of something or whatever, right? And and you see someone in the background that resembles, let's just say MJF, right? Let's just say they happen to be in the same bar randomly, right? Oh, MJF is fucking Cora Jade. So stupid, man. This app's stupid. Like, I'm sorry, man. These people are fucking retarded. Retarded. And I'm being nice when I'm saying that too. They are fucking retards. Good God, man. This app is stupid, man.
Oh, man. So you got any news?
No, man. That is got me pissed the fuck off now. Jesus Christ.
Alright. Let's see. So we talked about doing a bus flip tonight. Do you still want to do it?
No. God, no. I'm already hot, man. I'm hot.
So like Raw and Netflix, we're gonna end a little early.
Jesus Christ, man! They got me pissed off.
I didn't know you. I wasn't expecting that response out of you. No.
This is the IWC. This is the IWC. And no one's like, am I going crazy?
No. I'm agreeing with you, dude. Like these people. This whole fucking community, if you want to call it that, is just it's a cesspool. It's putrid. It just all it does is just spew and breathe hate.
I much rather hear. Look, I'll say this. I much rather hear people, picking one side or the other from AEW to W. I'd rather take the tribalism. I certainly would, because you know what? At least you're talking about professional wrestling, and you're focus. You're keeping your focus on the wrestling itself, right? And you're keeping like you may like AEW more, you may like WWE more, whatever, right? But at least you're keeping your focus on the wrestling. This has no place in what the fuck we do here every week. This has no place on X and TikTok and Instagram. If it's affecting you that much, you gotta look yourself in the mirror. She did nothing wrong. Now, if it comes out that Jada Parker is a transphobe, okay, well, I may change my tune a little bit here. But for the fact that you're going off of you don't have nothing factual, right? Nothing concrete. But still, at the end of the day, though, this will still lead to dangerous interactions. Like, it is quite frankly ridiculous at the end of the day. It's ridiculous that we even have to bring this up and talk about this. It's ridiculous that people just go along with it. Look, I'm gonna send you guys something I just saw on Twitter right now. Look at that. To bring it up, you can look at that, watch that, however you want to do it. Like, it's fucking crazy. It is crazy. This community is mentally ill. Mentally ill, man. It's scary, man. Like, you need to do verifications and background checks at this fucking point, man, cause I don't know. Like people, I mean, good thing people are shading on this person, saying like, hey, you know, get a life and all that stuff, right? But there's a lot of people on there that are like, oh my god, wait, she's fucking him? Oh my god. Like, some people on there are just take it as gospel, not doing no research, just be like, hey, I'm gonna believe this person because they said it. So fucking weird.
Allegedly, Indy Hartwell uploaded the video. Allegedly.
Okay. Well, hey, all right, well, good for Indy Hartwell. She uploaded. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck if it was Vince McMahon himself who uploaded the fucking video. I don't give a fuck if it was Hitler. Who gives a fuck? How is this affecting you? How is this? You wake up, you go to work, you're just like, say, man, like, shit, Indy Hartwell, I can't believe she recorded that video of them doing the shoey. Oh my god, what am I doing with myself? Jesus Christ, man.
On that note, that's the end of the show, people. Exactly at 90 minutes. Yeah, anyone who did show up, thank you, Lightning, Kyle, of course, anyone else. So where you can find us, you can find us over at YouTube, which is where we're recording right now. We're live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, you cut out for a second. I'm sorry. That's why I was looking like that.
Oh, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now, but you cut for a split second.
9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. Don't forget. I don't think I've advertised this yet, and I feel like an asshole for not doing it. But February 5th will be episode 400. I already made a card for the occasion. I already notified our team about it. RJ, Ruben, Jeff, a few others. So we're trying to get everybody on this show. Even if it's just for a few minutes. So February 5th, people, for episode 400.
Hopefully we don't have anything on that show where I go off on the fucking IWC again, because Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Oh man, that'll be.
What? Hey guys, I swear to God, I know we only got 2 people fucking listening right now. I don't give a fuck. Go spread this shit. Block these fucking terrible people on social media. Just get rid of them. Like why do we give these guys our fucking time? You know what I mean? Like, again, when it gets to like personal jabs and like, oh, I really love Timothy Stratton. Oh, I fucking hate you, Sasha Banks. I love you, Chris Statlander. Go kill yourself, Roxanne. Like, that should have no fucking place in this fucking community. Again, if you're an account and you're pro WWE and you're pro AEW, it may be annoying, but at least keep it to pro wrestling, right? Just keep it to pro wrestling. You give your opinions, give jabs at each other. Sure, fine. Do I like hate some of that shit? Absolutely, but I'd rather prefer that 10 times out of 10 than over this bullshit.
You know, it's like John Draper, you know, friend of the show, said, you know, you can tell who's never been punched in the face before.
But again, I don't know how old this person is. This could be a 12-year-old girl.
Still, fuck him. Still, fuck him. Fuck him.
Yo, right, but
they should know better.
Like, we don't know exactly. We don't know if they have a mental condition too either. I don't know. But what I do know is that when you get on the internet and you don't identify yourself, you have no picture or anything, and you're popping off at the mouth, to me you're grown at that point. If I don't know your age, and if I don't know that you don't have like a mental or medical condition, to me you're grown. It seems like this person to me is wrong on how they're speaking and how they're conducting themselves. That's just the way I think. So
episode 400, February 5th. You can find the show anywhere on YouTube. You can
Hulk Hogan.
fuck Hulk Hogan. Exactly.
There you go.
Fuck Hulk Hogan. we had to make Bret Hart happy in some aspect. Yeah, Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify. Those are the shows. Those are where you can find the shows. And Twitter, X formerly known as Twitter, DY Experience, an Instagram page, which I just made a personal Instagram page where I'm only adding friends and family. But the old Instagram page I'm keeping specifically for the show and to post show-related things, news, blah, blah. So look for that, DY Experience, or I think it's just DrewYar89, I believe. And yeah, that's about it. So Justin, tell them where they can find Spinebuster Tees.
Spinebuster Tees, SpinebusterTees.com. You guys know where to find me. Just follow me on Instagram. Come visit the store in San Antonio, Texas. You guys know what's up. I don't want to get into that right now.
But SpinebusterTees.com, people. All right, we're done, and we will be back next week, same time, same channel. And yeah, 9 p.m. Central Eastern Time on YouTube and also the Wrestling Soup Discord. And that's about it, people. So have a good night. Be safe. Don't be a troll. And just spread positivity.